For years, EcoBrown has been the nation's go-to premium brown rice. But now, EcoBrown's ambitions reach beyond their beloved borders. They set their sight on the land of maple syrups, Canada. The question burns like a freshly steamed bowl of rice. Should EcoBrown's embark on this ambitious journey north? Canada is the vast country in North America, the second largest by landmass in the world, a diverse landscape ranging from mountains and glaciers in the west of Paris, forests and lakes in the central and eastern region, to rugged coastline and both of Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. Canada is a federal constitutional monarchy with parliamentary system of government. It operates within the Commonwealth of Nations and maintains close ties with its former colonizer, the United Kingdom. However, Canada is sovereign nation with its own independent government and policies. Canada is a developed nation with diverse economy. Its major exporter of natural resources like oil, gas, timber, and minerals, but also has thriving sectors in manufacturing, finance, technology, and healthcare. Based on data from World Bank, Canada's gross domestic product or GDP at current prices for 2020 was $1,867. This figure represents a 1.5% growth compared to 2020. The United States is Canada's largest trading partner by far, accounting for roughly 70% of its total trade. Canada actively participates in free trade agreements to increase market access for its exporters and boost economic growth. Notably, it has FTAs with the US or CUSMA, the EU for CETA, and several other countries and regional blocs. While talking about their food preferences, Canada can be divided into four regional variations in such Atlantic Canada. Seafood plays a prominent role. Quebec, French influences are evident with cheese, poutine, and pastries, and prairies, meat, and potatoes are traditional staples, but multicultural influences are increasingly diversity. British Columbia, fresh seafood, fruits, and vegetables are abundant, reflecting the coastal locations. However, their popular food choices are bread, pasta, and rice, including brown rice, are prevalent, particularly in Western Canada. Dairy and meat, like milk, cheese, and yogurt, are widely consumed. However, official recommendations from the Canada Food Guides to promote a balanced plate with emphasis on vegetables and fruits, whole grain protein foods, and limited saturated and trans fats, sugars, and sodium.
Considering the expansions of the eco-brown business from Malaysia to Canada, cultural disparity should be a primary focus. Assessing consumer preferences is crucial, as Canadians may have different tastes and dietary habits than those in Malaysia. Understanding and adapting the product to meet local preferences is essential for the market acceptance. Moreover, regulatory and legal differences pose significant challenges. It is compulsory to ensure that the EcoBrown complies with Canadian food safety standards, considering variations in regulations and packaging requirements. Legal consideration extend to labeling and packaging, where adherence to Canadian standard is critical to avoid any legal issues. In the case of marketing and branding, cultural sensitivity is a key. Messages that resonate in Malaysia may not be as effective or could be misinterpreted in Canada. Customizing marketing, materials, and branding to align with Canadian cultural norms and values is essential. Additionally, assessing the perceptions of the brand in Malaysia and making necessary adjustment for the Canadian market is very crucial. The thing is that distribution channels and supply chains dynamic differ between Malaysia and Canada, requiring a comprehensive understanding to ensure efficient product distributions. Building relationships with Canadian retailers may require a different approach than what works in Malaysia. Communication challenges, including language differences and varying communication styles, should be carefully considered to facilitate effective business interactions. On top of that, economic factors such as pricing strategies, aligned with local income levels and consumer spending habits, must be taken into account. Social and environmental considerations are increasingly important, with a potential emphasis on social responsibility in the Canadian market. Therefore, highlighting the eco-friendly aspect of the brown rice productions can be a positive selling point. Navigate all these cross-cultural risks. Comprehensive market research, engagement with local experts, and potentially controlling the product in the Canadian market are very recommended. This approach allows for the identification and mitigation of potential challenges, increasing the likelihood of a successful entry into the Canadian market.
Now you may ask, what are the country risks associated with Canada? Canada's government structure is that of a parliamentary democracy, a federation, and a constitutional monarchy. The country is made up of 10 provinces and 3 territories. First of all, Canada is located in the northern part of North America, bordering the North Atlantic Ocean on the east. It is the second largest country in the world after Russia. This would make Canada a strategic area to open a business because, with their location, they are able to sign 15 FTA agreements, such as the US-Canada Agreement, as well as with ASEAN. Due to their close proximity with the US, the governance of the nation also holds many similarities. There are also a number of business climates in Canada that EcoBrown's should consider before entering into Canada's market. Canada has the protection of property rights, where foreign investors have full and fair access to Canada's legal system. Private property rights are limited only by the rights of national and local Canadian governments to establish monopolies and to expropriate for public purposes, which is valid since most countries do the same thing. However, imported agreements that safeguard copyrighted works on the internet have not yet been approved by Canada. Many American and Canadian businesses have expressed dissatisfaction with Canada's implementation of laws prohibiting the sharing of information with rights holders, citing it as complicated, ineffectual, hindering the fight against counterfeiting and piracy. Despite that, regulatory system is fairly transparent since proposed legislations can be subjected to parliamentary debate and public hearings, and regulations are issued in draft form for public comment prior to implementation. Other business climates of Canada include their conversion and transfer policies, which their Canadian dollars are fully convertible. As for the level of corruption and political violence in Canada, it is also relatively low and similar to that found in the United States. Generally speaking, Canada would be suited for the kind of due diligence needed to prevent fraudulent practices that would be mandated in the US.
Moving on to the currency and financial issues in Canada that can lead to currency and financial risk. In the dynamic landscape of the Canadian economy, challenges are emerging that could impact the market entry of premium products like EcoBrown's, Malaysia's premier brown rice brand. Central banks have responded to inflation concerns by raising interest rates, resulting in increased borrowing costs. For EcoBrown's, this poses a risk as higher interest rates may dampen consumer spending, impacting the demand for food products, including their premium brown rice. Next, higher interest rates are not just numbers on paper. They translate to real constraints in household budgets. As Canadian consumers face elevated borrowing costs, their purchasing power is affected, potentially leading to shifts in preferences and impacting sales of premium items like EcoBrown's. Besides, the financial pressures on consumers are set to intensify during mortgage renewals, creating a ripple effect on discretionary spending. EcoBrown's, being a premium product, may witness a change in consumer behavior with potential reductions in spending on such items. In addition, the economic landscape also reveals rising financial stress among small businesses, which could impact EcoBrown's distribution channels. If reliant on partnerships with small retailers or distributors, EcoBrown's may face challenges due to the financial difficulties experienced by these businesses. Lastly, external financing challenges further add to the complexity. If obtaining external financing becomes harder or more expensive, it could create a challenging economic environment for businesses like EcoBrown's, potentially affecting their market entry and operations.
Now, let's move on to the commercial issues that can lead to commercial risk in Canada. Firstly, the supply chain challenges. Businesses in Canada have faced supply chain challenges since the onset of COVID-19 in early 2022. The situation has worsened by the Ukrainian conflict. In 2022, global supply issues, high consumer demand, and the fallout from the Ukrainian conflict has led to inflation in Canada, and the challenges has remained same in the first and second quarter of 2023, which reflects that there has been no improvement in supply chain issues in Canada, making it tough for businesses to produce and deliver goods and services. Moving on to the second point, which is lack of skilled workers. The scarcity of skilled workers poses a significant challenge for companies in Canada. Workforce challenges include attracting and retaining skilled workers. The complexities has increased after COVID-19, where new workforce prefer more flexibility in the working environment. Moving on to the last point, which is cybersecurity threats. In Canada, business encounters cybersecurity threats such as cyber espionage, business email compromises, insider threats, and supply chain attacks. These poses risk for financial loss, reputation damage, and potential harm for the company, requiring the company for a robust security measure to safeguard sensitive information and ensure the integrity of digital operation. Therefore, after reviewing the commercial risks, we believe that it is risky for EcoBrown to enter market in Canada due to its prevalent supply chain challenges, its shortage of skilled workers, and the increasing in cybersecurity threats. Before we reach to the final part of the weekend, in the competitive world of global market, EcoBrown's, Malaysia's premium brown rice brand, faces a critical decision of whether to expand its business into Canada. However, after a close look based on our analysis at the beginning of the video, it raises some important consideration. Hence, we decided that EcoBrown should not enter into Canada. The reason that we do not support for EcoBrown to expand its business into Canada are firstly, because although brown rice is popular in some part of Western Canada, it worries us because not all Canadians eat brown rice. It would probably take a high risk for EcoBrown to expand its business in Canada. Canadians mostly prefer items such as fish, meat, vegetable, bread, seafood. Secondly, after seeing the currency and financial issues in Canada, it made us worry for EcoBrown to enter Canada. For example, the central bank in Canada has raised its interest rate to combat inflation, which result in increasing borrowing costs. This may impact consumer purchasing power, particularly for premium products like EcoBrown. Higher interest rates are stretching household budgets, potentially affecting the demand for brown rice. Furthermore, despite a robust banking sector, financial stress is rising, especially among small businesses. This could pose as challenge for EcoBrown's partnership and distribution channels. While large businesses in Canada maintain healthy balance sheet, the all-over adjustment to higher interest rate and potential difficulty in obtaining external financing may impact EcoBrown market entering strategy. The third reason why we believe that EcoBrown should not enter into Canadian market is because Canadian rice and grain market is already saturated with established brand offering a variety of product. Introducing a new brand, especially one focused on brown rice, might face challenges in differentiating itself and gaining market share. Well-established preferences for certain type of rice such as white rice might poses resilience to the adoption of brown rice. Convincing customers to switch their preferences can be a slow and challenging process. On top of that, competing with local and international brands that have a strong hold on the market could be difficult, especially if EcoBrown faces challenges in offering a unique value proposition that stands out. Therefore, after conducting our research on Canada's background, its cause, cultural factors, its country risk, financial risk, and commercial risk, we believe that EcoBrown should not enter into Canada market currently.